Yo, what's up guys? You got PokeaimMD here with week 2 of SPL. This time I'm playing Tamahome, a friend of mine. Little backstory, we were on Wolfpack together for a few years. We used to play DPP every day together. He's known as like the top DPP player I think on the site right now, currently. And we played in SPL. He destroyed me with the Jirachi. Then we played in World Cup and it came down to a last turn 50-50 versus like Bronzong booming on my Milotic or on my Flygon. He got that right, ended up winning there too. So now we're playing again in SPL, and I have a Zapdos lead. He has an Empoleon lead. Lead Empoleon, if I Thunderbolt it, which usually always carries a Focus Sash, if I Thunderbolt it, Empoleon lives. It's in Torrent, and then Hydro Pump knocks me out. And if Hydro Pump does not knock me out, Hydro Pump into Aqua Jet knocks me out. So my play right here is actually to go for the Hidden Power, which I do go for, which does break his potential Sash, and what it allows me to do is actually knock him out with the Thunderbolt after. This prevents him from getting up rocks if this was his rocker. Now, he is going to bring in his Starmie. I go for Protect because I want to see what type of Starmie it is. Sometimes Malfoy uses Surf, sometimes he uses Thunder Wave. I wanted to see what he would go for right here. And if he went for Hydro Pump, I could also weaken or lessen his Hydro Pumps due to pressure. So like right now, he only has 4 Hydro Pumps left. I sack my Zapdos, go out to T-Tar because I'm Passion Berry T-Tar. So no matter what play he makes here, even if he double Hydro Pumps, it does not knock me out ever at the range I'm at, which is 100%. So misses the first Hydro Pump, unfortunately. It turns out he is actually a Cobra Berry Starmie. But like I said, had he hit 2, T-Tar would not go down to that just because of the Sand Spadef boost. So I knock out Starmie right there, which is looking great for my Infernape. He is going to bring in his Jirachi. Now, Jirachi coming in was really interesting to me because you're either screaming Iron Head or I'm not even sure. Like I think Iron Head would be the only reason to bring in Jirachi right here. So I go directly out the Heat Ramp as he goes for a Calm Mind, and now I'm a little bit worried that he actually has HP Ground. I didn't think he would Calm Mind directly on a Tyranitar, especially because Spadef T-Tar takes every boosted hit, even Grass Knots, and Crunch does like 40% minimum, so I'd be able to get off 2 crunches here before going down. But he does go for Calm Mind. I decided to scout for the HP Ground right here by bringing out my Cresselia, and he doubles out into a Tyranitar. Now, he didn't expect my Cresselia, but that was just a good switch in general if he didn't have HP Ground on Jirachi. So it was a good play on his part, just because he didn't have HP Ground, and it ended up working out for him because now my Crest is in here, and I am going to switch out. I don't want to take a Bandit Crunch as he ends up going for the Bandit Pursuit. So I bring a Tyranitar right now. This is a pretty good opportunity to get up rocks. I don't know what he has in the back, but if it's in the air, like Gyarados or anything like that, rocks would just be useful for me as he brings in Bronzong. Now, because Empoleon was more than likely his rocker, I'm thinking T-Tar's already banded, Jirachi's Calm Mind, Bronzong is probably the Trick Room or actually rocks, but I get my rocks right here, and I go for the Crunch. Now, it does not do enough as he sets a Trick Room, and now with my offensive team, I have to play around turns of Trick Room. So I go Heat Ran on the Gyro Ball right here, and then I'm going to double out into my Cresselia on the Earthquake because I can dodge that, and then I'm going to go right back out into Heat Ran because again I want to waste a few more turns. Or I don't go Heat Ran right here because I was a little bit worried about him going for Earthquake. And at the same time, let's say I did go Tran and then double back on the Crest, he got a new Trick Room up. So I didn't think that there was a play I could make here because I have Infernape as well in the back and Kingdra, which I'm looking to sweep with. The fact that Steel type is gone, one of them is weakened, the other one's a Calm Mind variant, and he has a T-Tar. So like Kingdra, my Dragon Dance Kingdra can actually sweep him. So I go Heat Ran here, and I thought about this turn for a little bit, like prior to keeping Crest in. If I kept in Crest and I double out to Heat Ran on the Gyro Ball, what would I do from there? Either way, I need something to go down that turn, because if I go back into Crest, and my Crest does not take Gyro Ball as well, it takes, I think there's 31% minimum to my Cresselia with Macho Brace Gyro Ball. So my Crest does not take Gyro Balls well at all, and I had to sack this because again, if I didn't go Crest and I went back on a Heat Ramp, stall out Gyro Ball, and I went back to Crest on the Earthquake, he got his 5 turns of Trick Room again. I wouldn't recover enough with Moonlight, and he'd still be able to 2-hit KO me with Gyro Ball, and I'd be in the same situation. So, unfortunately, I sack Heat right here. But Infernape is looking good. So, I go right out into my Life Orb Infernape. I throw off an Overheat because Close Combat is a roll at that point. If he comes back in with Rocks, Close Combat can knock him out, but Overheat does guarantee knock him out. So, as long as it connects. But he brings in his Tyranitar. I know that this thing is banded, so I can go right for the Close Combat at that thing and knock it out. And here is where Dragonite comes out. Now, this is a really big turn. So if his Dragonite packs Extreme Speed, whether it is banded or not, -1 Extreme Speed knocks out my Infernape, right? If I lose Infernape, the Bronzong can set up Trick Room again on my other 2 mons. If I lose Infernape, it can set up Trick Room. If Infernape is not in, Bronzong can set up Trick Room. If Dragonite goes for Dragon Dance and I switch, he can sweep me. But if he goes for Extreme Speed here and I lose Infernape, he ends up winning with Trick Room Bronzong in the end. Because he sets up Trick Room versus my my Tyranitar. It does not go down. I don't have Fire Blast. Knocks me out with Gyro Ball. And then he can explode on my last Pokemon. That will knock it out. So again, I'm in the situation where, okay, is he banded? Is he Dragon Dance? Either way, if he goes for Extreme Speed, I lose Infernape. I do have Stone Edge, which does knock out Dragonite. It does 78% minimum, and he's at 76. So again, this is a turn where if he goes for Extreme Speed, I go down. Now my thought process is, okay, if he goes for Extreme Speed and I bring a Tyranitar, after that he is forced to, if he's banded, I can play accordingly. But I think if he's banded, he can also just stay in and spam Extreme Speed till I go down, and then get in Bronzong and Trick Room up. If he's Dragon Dance, then he can potentially knock me out with Earthquake after the let me show what I'm talking about. He can knock me out with Earthquake after the Extreme Speed damage, unless, like, yeah, even with the lowest roll, he can still knock me out. But that means Infernape can come back in and take an E-Speed and knock him out with the Stone Edge, and I'll take Sand as well after that. So and then I'll have 1 hit left, which I can either use on Jirachi or Bronzong. Preferably Jirachi, so that way my Kingdra can win. So I end up switching out into Tyranitar, because again, if he Extreme Speeded me, we already saw how much it did. -1, E-Speed does 66%. I was at 67, I want to say. Something like that. And he ends up going for Dragon Dance. And it basically came down to that turn right there. If I Stone Edge and I connected, I knocked out Dragonite, and then I had a fairly good shot at winning because Close Combat knocks out Bronzong, and all I had to do was Close Combat the Jirachi, get off 50%, assuming it's a Super Rachi, get off 50%. I didn't have to go for Overheat. I could have went for Overheat too, but get off about 50 to 60% with Close Combat. Get in my Kingdra, which is Lumberry, so there's no chance of Thunderbolt from Jirachi parrying me, and even if there was, I have the Lumberry. And then I set up the Rain Dance, and then Waterfall in the Rain knocks out Jirachi after Close Combat, and it knocks out Bronzong at the percentages off the rocks. But he ended up going for Dragon Dance, and because I sacked Heatran earlier, I don't have a Steel type left. So basically, he's able to sweep me with Outrage. And like a really big turn was him doubling out into Tyranitar because he didn't have HP Ground. I scouted for the HP Ground, and I could. My thought process was, okay, I could Thunder Wave. Even if he brought in a T-Tar at that point, it would at least be Thunder Waved. But I ended up losing to the Dragonite. I still stand by, like, that turn was a call right there. Again, if he E-Speeded, whether it be Dragon Dance E-Speed or a Banded Extreme Speed, I went down. And even if he went for Banded Extreme Speed, I would have to either double with Tyranitar or get the call right with Bronzong coming in. Because what would happen is that if he did go for Banded Extreme Speed on T-Tar, I would either double out to Infernape, but the thing is, his best play is to stay in and click Banded Extreme Speed. So even then, it was going to be really tough versus Bronzong. So sacking, if we go previous circle turns, if I didn't sack Tran, I would have had a Steel type, and I could have boomed on Dragonite. But if I didn't sack Tran as well, and T-Tar didn't go down to Earthquake, by the way, for those of you wondering, like I could have went, or those of you might be saying, oh, you could go on T-Tar on that turn and sacked its Earthquake. It didn't go down to Earthquake from Bronzong. There's no way it was Gyro Balling there. I had to sack something, and my Kingdra wouldn't go down. I couldn't sack Infernape because Infernape was my fast mon to actually do something. Then I would have been able to boom on the Dragonite. But that double into Tyranitar, when I scouted for HP Ground, was, it worked out really well for him. T-Tar is a good switch into Heatran anyway, and I guess he didn't want to go for the. He probably didn't have HP Ground because I guess Scizor was a weakness for him, which makes sense. He's probably HP Fire. Looking back at it now, like when I see all of his team, I can assume it'd be HP Fire, not HP Ground. But yeah, it came down to that turn, and even then it would have been a little bit shaky. Had I Stone Edged, obviously, if I Stone Edged Dragonite, I would have been able to knock it out. But like I had reasoning for my switch, because if I lost Infernape and one Dragonite could just sweep me anyway, especially if it was Jolly Dragonite, even Adamant Dragonite outsmart my team. He could just Earthquake my T-Tar. Which, even if it didn't knock me out, because again it was a roll on Adamant Dragonite, even if it didn't knock me out, he'd be able to go out to Bronzong later and just set up a Trick Room on T-Tar, and then Gyro Ball my T-Tar, and then explode on my Kingdra. So it was shaky, and it came down to that turn. Again, the way I won that turn was if I Stone Edged because of how the moves went out. But unfortunately, he got the better of me on that turn, and yeah, that's game. So thank you everybody for watching. I'm 0-2 in SPL this year. Not starting off well for me, especially because my team paid so much for me. But I'm going to do my best to hopefully bounce back. And this is probably the biggest competition that I had right now for at least Gen 4. So I'm going to do my best to not go 0-4 like I was last year and then start winning from there. Because this time it's just, well, Rain, I couldn't do much in the first matchup. But this one came down to that call right there, I feel. But thank you everybody for watching. I'll definitely come back with more tournament replays. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, friends.